वेलकम बैक एवरीवन। काफी जल्दी वापस आ गए हैं आपके लिए हम। इंडिया की इनिंग्स खत्म हुई, फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया की भी बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो गई। अभी हमने डिनर वाला लाइव किया था जब आपसे जुड़े थे। हम दोबारा आ गए हैं, आपसे मुलाकात हुई है। नॉट अ गुड टाइम टू बी टॉकिंग टू इंडियन सपोर्टर्स, but as of course presenters of the game, we have to analyze where it went wrong, where it went right for Australia. Actually, I think they were just too good. इंडियन बैट्समैन ने गलतियां जरूर की, बट जो ऑस्ट्रेलियन तेज गेंदबाजों का जो स्किल लेवल था वो आज टॉप था। मेरे हिसाब से कोई कोई मौका ही नहीं था भारतीय बल्लेबाजों के पास गेम में वापसी करने का। 9 for 1 इंडिया वर ओवरनाइट, 9 for 1। और उसके बाद 9 for 36 हो गया, लेकिन उल्टी साइड 36 for 9। सो इट वाज रियली डिजास्ट्रस फॉर इंडिया व्हाट हैपेंड टुडे। कल भी ऐसे ही सुबह वाले सेशन में 4 विकेटें गिरी थी भारत की, एक ही झटके में 8 रन पे। यहाँ पे भी सुबह सुबह दिक्कत हुई भारत को। तो दोनों ही डेज में सुबह सुबह बहुत दिक्कत हुई। शायद माइंड काफी फ्रेश था और गेम में नहीं था, इसलिए शायद they were jabbing at balls, they were not solidly behind the balls. And to discuss it, not much to discuss, well, as we were discussing before this live. Bhagishri, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts?
नॉट रियली, बिकॉज युवराज अगर देखा जाए तो इसी सेम पिच पर इंडिया ने भी बैटिंग करी है और फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने भी बैटिंग करी है, और देखकर ऐसा लग रहा था कि दोनों शायद कोई दूसरे पिच पर बैटिंग कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि ऑस्ट्रेलिया इतनी आराम से बैटिंग कर पा रही थी, वो रन्स बटोर पा रही थी, बट दूसरी तरफ इंडिया जस्ट continuously kept losing their wickets, and there was never one point where ऐसा लग रहा था कि no, they are settled, कि there is a partnership that can be expected. So I think it just kept losing out of India's hand in the first session itself.
True. First session was all it was almost. पहले सेशन में ऑलमोस्ट गेम खत्म हो गया था। 90, दैट वाज अ फोरगॉन कंक्लूजन आफ्टर दैट कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया तो जीत के ही जाएगा। दिक्कतें, बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कतें भारत के लिए। विराट कोहली भी नहीं रहेंगे अब, तो ये और भारत के लिए, बिकॉज विराट कोहली won't be there in the next 3 tests. He'll be going home to tend to the future baby that will be born of him and Anushka Sharma, of course. But what will India do? Will they make some changes, more changes in the next test? क्योंकि KL राहुल बेंच पे बैठे हैं, शुभमन गिल बेंच पे बैठे हैं, रोहित शर्मा will probably come back in the third test. So they will need to address the fact किसको किसकी जगह लाना है. Do they keep Prithvi Shaw in the side? I think we should now look at the scorecard first. सबसे पहले summary दे देते हैं आपको मैच की. Bhagishri, would you like to read out the scorecard for us?
Yes, absolutely. So ऑस्ट्रेलिया 93 for 2, 21 ओवर में उन्होंने जो टारगेट था वो पाया। मैथ्यू वेड रन आउट हो गए थे, रिद्धिमान साहा ने काफी अच्छी तरह से उनको रन आउट किया था। 33 रन बनाए थे 53 बॉल्स में, और 5 चौके मारे थे। जो बर्न्स नॉट आउट रहे थे लास्ट मैच में, वो उतना अच्छा नहीं कर पाए थे, बट इस मैच में उन्होंने काफी, इस इनिंग्स में माफ कीजिएगा, उन्होंने काफी अच्छा किया। 51 रन जड़े 63 बॉल्स में, 7 चौके और 1 छक्का मारा था। मार्नस लाबुशेन काफी जल्दी आउट हो गए थे आज। कैच आउट कर दिया था मयंक अग्रवाल ने अश्विन की बॉल पर। 6 रन जड़े 10 बॉलों में, और स्टीवन स्मिथ नॉट आउट रहे, एक ही बॉल खेल पाए और उसमें उन्होंने 1 रन मारा। इंडिया का अगर साइड देखें तो क्या आप बताना चाहोगे युवराज कि इंडिया की बॉलिंग कैसी रही आज?
जी, बॉलिंग उमेश यादव की कंट्रोल नहीं था उनकी गेंदबाजी में। पहली इनिंग्स में जरूर देखने को मिला कंट्रोल, बट उमेश यादव 8 overs, just 1 maiden and 49 runs he gave away. So a really sorry scorecard for उमेश यादव। जसप्रीत बुमराह ने इकलौती विकेट जो जसप्रीत बुमराह अगर रन आउट हुए हैं और मानस की अश्विन ने ली है, तो जसप्रीत बुमराह के खाते में विकेट क्यों है, ये आपके मन में सवाल होगा। रविचंद्रन अश्विन 6 ओवर 1 मेडन 16 रन दिए उन्होंने। Of course, Indian bowling card doesn't look that great. Jasprit Bumrah, Umesh Yadav weren't able to do much without the services of Mohammad Shami. I think difference between the two sides in the second innings was the positive intent from both the bowlers and the batsmen of Australia. Tim Payne showed the way. He was the light for them, क्योंकि उन्होंने दिखाया कि पॉजिटिव इंटेंट के साथ अगर आप खेलेंगे, अपने शेल में नहीं जाएंगे, ज्यादा डिफेंसिव नहीं होंगे, तो आप सक्सीड कर सकते हैं इस विकेट पे। Tim Payne did exactly that. He was 74 of 99, as I mentioned earlier. Probably he was the batter of the game. Virat Kohli also scored 74 runs, but it was of some 170 odd balls. So he was also taking his time. Australian batsmen also took their time, but they learned from their mistakes. That was the difference, I think. Bowlers were also bowling fuller. ऑस्ट्रेलियन गेंदबाजों में थोड़ी पेस ज्यादा है, स्किल लेवल ज्यादा है, बट दे वर बॉलिंग फुलर. First innings में Indian bowlers were also a little short, though they did get wickets. They also dropped a lot of catches, so that is another negative to look at from India's perspective. But Australia will be rejoicing this game because पहली innings में 52 रन की लीड ट्रेल कंसीड करना, दूसरी इनिंग्स में इस तरह की वापसी करना, all thanks to the bowlers of Australia. Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood did all the work for them. 4 or 9 wicket respectively for Pat Cummins and Josh Hazelwood. Lovely to watch the way they operated. It was not all India's batsmen's fault, but it was also the Australian bowlers who wreaked havoc on the Indian batting lineup and broke their back. Let's have a look at the best tweets of the game. Adrian Katz says it's going to take a while to get over this. At least shouldn't have happened in Adelaide. It is going to take a while. How long do you think will this haunt Indian memories, Bhagyashri?
Well, I think it is going to. Today they've set another record, which is not on the positive side. They have scored their lowest test runs that India has ever scored. So I think it is definitely going to haunt them for a very, very long time. And to think, Yuvraj, in the next test match, we are not going to have Virat Kohli. So I think they will have to make quite a few changes and they will have to go with a different mindset. क्योंकि अगर आप कैप्टन हैं आपके आपके साइड में और उसके बाद आप इतनी बुरी तरह से हारते हो, तो आपको बहुत गेन करना होगा कॉन्फिडेंस और काफी चेंजेस करनी पड़ेंगे साइड में अगले टेस्ट के लिए.
जी, मैं वही सोच रहा था कि विराट कोहली considering the kind of guy he is, plays with so much passion, so much intensity, losing the first match and that too like this, and then he has to go home now. This will be pinching him. Of course, he has to perform his own fatherly duties, but it'll surely be pinching him. He'll be regretting this, the kind of batting they have displayed in the second innings. And then to go back home, all he can do now is introspect. Yes. He cannot step onto the field. He cannot show the way to the other players. He cannot lead by example. He can only lead from off the field now, which is not an ideal situation to be in. And that too when you're in overseas conditions. Yeah. When you're in home conditions, you're much more comfortable. You have the support of the crowd. But here, the Australian media, the Australian supporters are absolutely brutal. They will fry you off. They will fry the Indian batsmen for this. Australian media has always been like this. They will take you by the claws. So not the best of situations to be in for the Indian players, but that's the hallmark of big players. If you come back from situations like these, if you recover well, then you are considered a champion. Otherwise, of course, you are mediocre. So let's move on to the second tweet. Jitendra Soni says, cricket is a game of unpredictability. What happened in the first session was way more than just bizarre. I think bizarre would also be an understatement. What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely, Yuvraj, because you don't expect India to continuously lose wickets in that rapidly. Like as I said earlier as well, there was no point where it was looking a little stable. It was looking like something could happen in that game. But very rapidly they kept losing wickets and they played very less overs also. They did not give a lot of chances to the Australian bowlers to even bowl because they lost the wickets so quick into the game. So absolutely, it was way more than just bizarre.
It was short work for the Australian bowlers. Josh Hazelwood just bowling 8 overs, bowling 5 maidens, giving away 8 runs. 5 overs, 8 runs, and 5 wickets. I think that's the correct order. He got 5 wickets. He is now joined the 200 plus wickets club among the Australian bowlers. So that is a very good sign for them. Pat Cummins, the number 1 bowler in the world, displaying his class again, bowling full because there was bounce in this pitch. Most balls that were pitched on good length or maybe even slightly fuller than good length, they were going above the wickets. They were bouncing off and going above the wickets. They were not even clipping the bails. So that's why they had to bowl full. There is a chance of conceding runs from that length, but you have to take that chance. You have to take that risk. The Australian bowlers did. It paid off, and it paid off in grand fashion. In disastrous fashion for India, but in grand fashion for the Australians. They have won the first test by 8 wickets. Long tour ahead for India. 3 matches to go. That too without their skipper, their leader Virat Kohli. Ajinkya Rahane will take captaincy duties now. The baton will be passed on to him for the last 3 tests. Hoping Rohit Sharma comes back, recovers quickly. It's hope. We're hoping that he will come back in the 3rd test. Before that, of course, Prithvi Shaw, there is a contention regarding Prithvi Shaw's place in the side. Shubman Gill sitting out. KL Rahul should make a way into the 11. I think they have no other option but to do that. We'll, of course, come back with the coverage of the next game that will start on the 26th, if I'm not wrong. Uh, First game has ended early, so you can now not watch the games and give some rest to your eyes till we come back for the coverage of the next game. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching Sports Tiger. I had Bhageshri along with me. We are signing off. Lots of more engaging content coming your way. Lots of games piled up. BBL is going on. So for that, stay tuned to Sports Tiger.